Hi, it's sunny today. It's been a long time that I was thinking of creating content. I was always hesitating because of my accent, and also because it takes time. Uh, but then now I'm bored, and you know what? I said maybe I'll give it a try. Maybe I'll give it a try. I will do this. I always loved YouTube and Twitter, now X. So they're my main actually social media, or if we call it social media. So I thought maybe I'll start doing some content on it. It's just personal stuff on my mind that I want to say. I want to tell people about it, and it's a fun project I'm starting. We'll see where it's going to lead to. But right now, um, the topic that I want to talk about today is cyber republic, or a form of cyber democracy. I always had this on my mind, and I talked about it with a lot of my friends and people I know. And it's weird because people always, they didn't really like it. They thought it's utopian, or it's naive or something. But for me, it's actually, it makes a lot of sense. Because, I mean, why are we in a representative democracy? Because actually we are in a representative democracy. We're not in a like democracy. It's misleading to say democracy. It's representative democracy. We vote for representatives to represent us, and I don't think many people will actually disagree with me when I say that representative in general, in most countries, they don't really represent the interests of the people. Mostly represent their own interest, or the interests of their party or their ideology. It's not always the interests of the people. Of course, some do. Some may do, of course. I don't doubt that. But mostly what we feel, I think in most countries that has a running parliament that, vote on stuff, it doesn't really, represent the people. The people do not feel represented, if you know what I mean. So my idea is why we think this is normal. I mean, it's weird, no? So maybe we could try this new model I'm proposing. It's called cyber democracy in the form of a cyber republic. So what really is what is a cyber republic? It's actually a form of direct democracy. It's like Athens, thousands of years ago, the first democracy, the Athenian democracy. It was like this: direct democracy. Citizens of the state, of the country, or whatever, of the city, they come together and they vote and they debate, not through representative but themselves. Democracy, or the representative democracy that we know, is actually a smart workaround, because 200 years ago or something, or 300 years ago, when we started really democracy, no, not maybe 300, but mostly 200. But anyway, we were a lot of people. I mean, we were like millions in each country. I don't know how much, but basically, most of the time we were like millions of people, and the we can't like just gather too many people every week and every Sunday, or like every month, once per month, to vote and debate. It's not possible. Transportation were not that good. Communication between people were not that good. It was nightmare. It wasn't possible. Okay. So, I mean, right now, it kind of possible. I mean, look, everyone has a phone, right? Everyone has a phone, and if everyone has a phone, everyone is connected to the internet, and the internet, feeds you with information. I mean, we'll talk later about if this information, you know, uh, is misleading or not. But for now, you have access to information all the time. Most of us, like, we use the phone like what, 4 hours, 7 hours per day. I mean, your phone is your life right now. Uh, so, and if you're not on your phone, you're on your PC to work or to do something else. So I think that we solved, or technology can help us solve this problem of communication. We can gather people online. We can gather 2 million people online. It's possible. And of course, there's a lot of, we can talk about security and, of course, there's a lot of threats on the internet. But for me, if we created cyberspaces, secure cyberspaces with blockchain technology, and I'm not saying it's easy, I'm saying it's possible, and the idea is to work together to see how can we make this possible, and so those cyberspaces will be public cyberspaces, and there will be no anonymity on them. I'm not against anonymity. Of course, I'm pro anonymity. You have the right to stay private on the internet, but in cyberspace, in a public place of debate, in a state or in a city or whatever, there should be no place for anonymity, because you should be responsible of what you're saying. There's responsibility in public debate. You don't go to the parliament with a mask on. People should know who's talking. So for me, in a cyber space, in this cyber republic, there should be no anonymity. So how we do that? Well, every user has an account, and this account is linked to your ID, and it's your choice. You want to join and participate in the debate? Of course you can. If you do not want to, well, you shouldn't be forced to create an account, or forced to post your ID. It's it's actually optional. It should be optional, because some citizens, they don't want to participate in the ruling of their country or their state. Okay, it's their choice. But I mean, for me, it's important that ID should be linked to every user. This way, we won't have troll. Of course, I'm not against trolls online and everything. I mean, hey, it's the internet. But I mean, for these cyberspaces, we should not have that. Because if you want to troll online on the rest of the internet, fine. But on this space, the official channels of the Cyber Republic, I don't think it has a place for anonymity. Yeah, and it's I think it's possible, this idea of a cyber democracy, really. And the arguments that I heard a lot against this is, yeah, but people don't have time to vote. People, they're not interested. Or, yes, but people, they don't really have the brain capacity, or like the people are too dumb to vote. Actually, this is their argument. They can, say it in other ways. They won't say it this directly, but yeah, that people are really, they're not informed enough to make, decisions. But the people in the parliament, they're well, well educated, and they know the topic, and they take time to look into the topic. I mean, look. First, we already trust the people to vote for a president and for representatives. So, if you trust the people already to choose the most powerful man in the republic, and representative who will vote for the laws that affect them directly, I think the argument that people are too stupid to vote doesn't really help, because actually it's against what we are, practicing. You can't say we can't trust people to vote because they're not uh, well educated or well informed. But actually we can't trust them to vote for the president or vote for the representative. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. If you trust them to pick the president, to vote for the president, or vote for a representative, it doesn't make any sense to say we cannot trust them to vote for the laws directly. Well, yeah, but people don't have time for to vote. Yeah, I mean, people spend 7 hours per day on their phone, or for even more for younger generation. You think really they won't have 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 2 hours to study a subject? Or even I don't know how much time we'll give them to vote, or to debate online on on those official channels I talked about. But I mean, the argument is not there. People don't have time. I mean, people have time to game. You don't think people will have time to research a topic? Some people will not research a topic, of course. Some people will just vote because some influencer told them to vote this or do that, of course. But this problem, we have it already in this democracy. And when I talk about democracy, I don't talk about a certain country. I talk in general about the idea of democracy and the idea of republic, wherever, because each country has a different type of democracy. Actually, the American democracy is different from the, Spanish democracy, or the German democracy, or even the French. And even in Europe, the different democracies, they do not work exactly the same. So I'm talking about the idea of democracy and the idea of republic in general. Uh, yeah, so for me, people will always have time. And the assumption that they will not have time, I don't think it's really valid. So of course, security is a big issue, because the system should be secure, do not have hacks or stuff like that. And for that reason, I think blockchain technology could play a role. I don't know how. I'm not a tech, I'm not tech bro, but I think technology can really solve this problem if we worked on this issue of security. It would be due to have layers and stuff like that. So I think people should have the right to, because we say the motto all the time, democracy is the power of the people, by the people, for the people, but we don't live these words. We say it, but we don't, if you really believe in it, we should practice it, and give the people the right to do that.